Hello there, everybody. I hope you've all had a wonderful work week. So, have you X'd yet? That's what Elon says the new tweet is now called, that he's rebranded the company Twitter into X. And if you think that rebrand has, well, been slightly problematic because, it was unnecessary, capricious, and just a bad logo design, you haven't heard the half of it yet. What does this rebrand even mean, anyway? X definitely does not mark the spot. You want to know more? Well, this is news that you need to lead in marketing. Let's roll. Hello, everybody. Robert Rose here with the news, and it's the content and marketing strategy news. It is what's new, but more importantly, it's what's important in our world of marketing. And for the best and best practices, you can always subscribe over at contentmarketinginstitute.com. So Elon Musk has decided to rebrand Twitter into Brand X. And no, not just an unknown Brand X, but rather just X. Over the last week, the site has been slowly going under a rebrand, with the first being just a logo change in the upper left-hand corner, now a redirect on x.com to go to twitter.com, and slowly the X appearing on mobile apps on phones. As we go to news this week, the rebrand definitely continues, with the tagline changing from "Let's Talk," which has been Twitter's tagline for, well, just about ever, to now just the bizarre "Blaze Your Glory." It's unclear whether Elon actually thinks he's trolling everybody who thinks the company is now going down in a blaze of glory, or whether it's just wishful thinking on his part. I personally think it's Elon's fumbled on double entendre on a marijuana joke. Blaze your glory. Get it? See what he did there? All right. He does seem to be working a bit high these days. Anyway, the move has certainly raised eyebrows, mostly for the biggest of question is, why now? And then there's the bigger hidden challenge of a rebrand that generally comes to play here. You see, because the rebrand happened, either purposely or just carelessly, Twitter, or rather X, has a number of challenges that go well beyond just a bad design. The first and most obvious is that more than a week after launch, when the company makes news, the media is still referring to it by its old name. This news report that you can see here on Tuesday sums it up perfectly by saying X has come off of the Twitter headquarters. I mean, that doesn't sound quite right, does it? Or this article from the week talking about how the battle between Threads and Twitter, X, it's an interesting one. And of course, no one could be bothered to tell or be bothered to inform the content groups and the support group, if there are any left, that is, because if you go to X's help section, all of it, including bluebirds, mentions of the company name, instructions on how to tweet, retweet, and even direct your tweets to circles, it's all Twitter, tweet, bluebirds, all of that. So what's my take? Well, my take are rebrands are probably the most difficult project that any marketing team will ever do. Change is hard. Getting all the moving parts of content interfaces, packaging, all that changed is huge, and consumers are usually loath to actually accept a rebrand. It's really about starting from scratch. This is the reason that most all rebrands happen because of a crisis with the legacy brand. There's an acquisition, so the two companies rebrand into the stronger of the two, a disaster of some kind, so the team changes the name to remove themselves from the stink of the old name and look, or some kind of split of products that introduces a need for a new look and change of the product itself. Put very simply, rebranding is almost always a project that comes out of some kind of crisis. Now, my biggest question is, with a brand like Twitter, none of those things that I just mentioned were true. In fact, you can kind of argue that the opposite of most of these things were true. It was an acquisition, but he's decided to go with the weaker or undecided brand. Some might argue that the platform has undergone a disaster, but now changing the name only reinforces the self-made disaster part of that change. And all the new products that you've talked about and hyped up, well, they aren't there yet. So there's nothing new to actually announce alongside this new brand. So basically, if there was an opportunity to make the thing out of rebranding the company when there is a new set of new products like payments, banking, audio, video, messaging, and yes, even goods and services, this has all been hyped up, of course, and an announcement by Linda Yaccarino, well, you've now just lost that opportunity to make any news with that. But here's the big question, really. Does it matter? I mean, maybe, just maybe, Elon and the team at X are purposely creating this friction with the rebrand so that it becomes the stories that you're reading about. The The media is definitely writing about X, and I'm commenting on it this week, and people are all too happy, proud, angry, gleeful to chat about all of X's problems or benefits, depending on the way you look at it. One might ask if this is actually an ingenious way of getting people to talk about or get publicity for a name change that isn't all that meaningful at the end of the day. I think the simplest answer, it's usually the correct one. And because this is all happening within the context of everything else happening to and within Twitter or X, well, I think it's just a case of someone who's doing what he wants to do no matter what happens. His blaze of glory, perhaps quite literally. What do you think? Let me know in the comments or send me a note, won't you? Good, bad, ugly, rebrand? For now, well, that's 5 minutes of what you need to lead in marketing. And I'm Robert Rose, and remember, as always, it's your story to tell. Tell it well. Don't rebrand it first, just tell it well. I'll see you next week.